Hi everyone, let's unlock the lockdown through science. Today, I, Kuldeep Singh from Neera Public School is going to show you some fun science activities for class 9. Now, we are going to learn today about true solution, colloid, suspension and their properties. We are also going to learn about Tyndall effect. So let's start the preparation. First, we are going to prepare the true solution. For true solution, you take some water and add a little amount of salt into it. We take common salt and I'm going to add this common salt into this water. Alright, you can clearly see the particles of salt or the solute you say get dissolved in the solvent, that is the water, and after some time you don't see any salt particle present over here. They get dissolved between the spaces present between the water molecules. Okay, now let's prepare the second solution, that is the colloidal solution. For a colloidal solution, I have taken some amount of water and I'm going to add some amount of soap solution present over here. Let me take some more water and some amount of soap solution present over here. So I'm going to add this soap solution. So this is my colloid which has been prepared by the soap solution. You can take some amount of Dettol in this. Alright. Now the third thing which I'm going to prepare here is the suspension. For the suspension, I'm going to take some amount of water and then add some sand into it. Alright, I'm going to add some sand into it. Check it out please. So this is how I'm going to prepare my suspension. I'm going to mix it thoroughly. You can observe the sand particles, they remain suspended. This is a suspension. Now let's study the characteristic properties of the three. A solution is a homogeneous mixture, a colloid is a heterogeneous mixture, and a suspension is also a heterogeneous mixture. Who decides this? Let's understand that and study different properties. First is the size of the particles present over here. The size of the particles in the true solution is smallest, ranging from 1 nanometer or less than that. Alright. In case of a colloid, it is between 1 to 100 nanometer. Then for a suspension, it is more than 100 nanometer. Let's understand the visibility now. If the size of the particles is small, the particles are not visible to the naked eye. So that happens for the true solution. The particles are not visible to the naked eye. In case of colloid, although you can see the color, but the individual particles are not visible to the naked eye. But if you look at the suspension, the suspended dust particles can be even seen with the naked eye. Now, moving forward, let's check about the stability of the three solutions prepared over here. This is quite stable. You don't see the salt settling down at the bottom. Similarly, the colloid is also stable. No separation boundary can be seen and it is thoroughly mixed. Now, and the last one is suspension. You can clearly check out there is a separation boundary and the particles of sand have settled down at the bottom. So it is not stable, it is unstable. Now we are going to study another property, that is filtration. When we are going to filter the true solution through a filter paper, the solute particles can pass through the filter paper. So there will be no residue left behind in a true solution. The same thing will happen for the colloid. The particle size is such that the particles of colloid will also pass through the filter paper and no residue will be left behind. But when you talk of suspension, you can clearly see the particles of dust or sand are so big that they cannot pass through the filter paper. So there will be a residue which will be left behind for suspension. The next property which we are going to study about the three true solution, colloid and suspension is transparency. If you look at the solutions, the true solution is almost transparent, whereas a colloid is translucent, where if you look at the suspension, a freshly prepared suspension, it is almost opaque to you. Now we are going to study another important property related to this three, that is Tyndall effect. Now what is Tyndall effect? Tyndall effect is the scattering of light by the particles of the medium, making the path of the light visible. Let's understand this by doing this activity with the laser light. I'm going to pass this laser light through true solution. Check this out, please. You cannot see the path of light. You cannot see the path of light because the size of the particles is small. Now let's move forward. The second one is a colloid. You can clearly see through a colloid the path of the light becomes visible. The path of the light becomes visible to you. What does that indicate? The size of the particle is bigger, and that bigger particles, they bounce back this light, or the light gets scattered in all direction, making the path of the light visible to us. Let's observe this in suspension. You can see this clearly. The path of light is very much visible. So the particles in suspension are biggest. They scatter the beam of light and they show Tyndall effect. Now, true solution shows no Tyndall effect, but colloid and suspension, they both show Tyndall effect, or the scattering of light, making the path of light visible to us. Thank you. That's all for today. Do your activities at home. I'll be back with some more activities and will keep unlocking the lockdown through science. Thank you.